Quite a bit of Tesla stock news today, so let's go through everything. ARK Invest just sold more Tesla stock, but actually their allocation increased due to Tesla stock going up by about almost 6% yesterday. Tesla's year-to-date registrations in Europe have now reached 271,500 at the end of September. Based on the current trend, Europe is expected to be Tesla's fastest growing market this year. Yeah, the growth is pretty impressive. This last year does not compare. Yeah, it's just much better. Here's year-over-year growth in each country. North America, 22%, Europe, 68%, China is 37%, and the rest of the world is 55% year-over-year in terms of growth. Tesla has now eliminated the quarterly delivery wave in Europe. In Q2 of 2022, 88% of deliveries happened in the third month of the quarter. This has now dropped to 39% in Q3 2023. A lack of Model 3 supply contributed to this, but even without that, September would be only 42% of Q3. Sam Corris from ARK Invest has a pretty good point here. Now the fun part of cost declines, life after price parity. There is no reason why battery costs or EV should halt their price declines at price parity. The product can continue to cost less, or it continues to sit in the same price segment and performance improves. What you see right here is the US benchmark transaction price, the US average, and the Model 3 is already under that, but Americans love SUVs more than sedans. So an SUV, a Model Y, is now actually below this line. This is a big deal. That rear-wheel drive Model Y actually expands Tesla's total addressable market by quite a bit. It's not by a super crazy amount, but it is significant. Here's a very interesting comparison between Tesla and Rivian. How Tesla did in the beginning versus how Rivian did in the beginning. This analysis shows how much more efficient Tesla was and still is in terms of moving vehicles to customers relative to Rivian. Even if you compare Rivian's with Tesla's startup mass market EV sales phase, first to ninth quarters of deliveries, you have to go back all the way to 2012 for Tesla. Rivian continuously holds significantly more production unsold. So this here is basically inventory as percentage of cumulative production, and you can see Rivian here, and then Tesla, you can see here, Rivian is not doing all that great compared to Tesla, and they are in a market that Tesla is not even competing yet in. So what do you think is going to happen when Tesla releases the Cybertruck? Tesla has switched back to shipping Fremont-made cars to Canada, so we Canadians now only get Fremont cars again, and perhaps maybe the rear-wheel drive comes from Austin. I'm not sure about that one yet, but I think this is just temporary, and eventually Chinese-made cars will come to Canada again. Interestingly, the build quality overall is slightly better of the cars made in China, at least when we compare Fremont to Giga Shanghai. I'm not sure about Giga Texas though. And according to Drive Tesla Canada, this new change only applies so far to the Model 3 and not the Model Y. So if you do want to get a Model Y and you are in Canada, I would suggest to grab a Chinese-made one. Cybertruck is being tested this time in Mexico. We also got some new rumors about the Cybertruck. Some of them should be pretty solid. James is also speculating that if the Cybertruck performance will rival the Plaid X, it stands to reason that the tri-motor Cybertruck will be priced between $90,000 to $100,000. And Matthew says that Tesla Cybertruck will have bidirectional charging in a 240 volt outlet. So you will be able to charge your Model 3 or Model Y from the Cybertruck if you need to. And here are a few more interesting details. A guy who was 5'7" was able to lay flat in the front. No ramp built into the tailgate. Some people will be disappointed by that, but suspension is supposedly going to be more comfortable than an S or X. The suspension in the X, it's all right, but I would like it to be a little bit better. So for that reason alone, I think I would probably like the Cybertruck more. Turning radius is amazing, as we have seen already, and it feels more luxurious than an S or X. I like that. And the Cybertruck delivery event has been scheduled, but not publicly announced yet. So I imagine it is going to be this October. Otherwise, if you already scheduled, yeah, I think probably most likely October, although we don't have that confirmed. But based on the previous rumors, it was supposed to be in October. Suspension height limits show actual clearance instead of low, medium, high. I like that. Example high setting is 14.5 inches. In performance version has the plaid tri-motor powertrain. And I love this. The front is power open/close. This means it will be used much more often than in other Teslas. Really good news. There are no HVAC ports in the bed, but the mid-gate glass does open, so camping in the bed is possible with climate control. That's good. The windows are not bulletproof. They are double glazed quiet windows. I guess maybe later Tesla could make an upgrade option where you can order that and pay 10,000 extra or however much extra. The floor is carpeted like other Teslas, not rubber like a Jeep or Raptor. And Tesla is about to release a feature to allow users to connect the audio from the rear screen entertainment to Bluetooth headphones. It's apparent this will be a game changer. I agree. We still don't know what the range is going to be. Unlike other Teslas, the Cybertruck will have a spare wheel. I like that. That's one of my major issues with owning a Tesla. If I get a flat, then I need to wait for their mobile service to arrive, which, you know, in the city, that's fine. But if you are in a remote location, good luck. There are multiple tow and trailer modes. The bed has 3 outlets total, 240 volts and 120 volts. The Cybertruck seats are wider and more comfortable than a Model X Plaid. And we got another image of another Cybertruck that was crash tested. Existing Tesla Model 3 performance orders in Germany are now shown in the Tesla app as expected delivery in April to July of 2024. Maybe a good sign that there will be a new performance Model 3 Highland. I'm pretty sure there's going to be something that's going to be vastly different about it. Otherwise, what is this wait all about? A California federal judge on Wednesday declined to order a third trial in a race discrimination lawsuit against Tesla, rejecting claims by a black former factory worker that the company's lawyers engaged in misconduct. Reports Reuters. A U.S. District Judge, William Orrick in San Francisco, in a written order, upheld a $3.2 million verdict that a jury awarded to plaintiff Owen Diaz in April, denying Tesla's motion to cut the award in half. Another police department just chose Teslas as their choice of vehicles, and that's really good. We will see more and more of this. And generally, this is what they always say when evaluating the offerings that Texas manufactures vehicles, Tesla, that is, were found to be the best and offer the greatest benefits of all. We got some pictures of the new Model Y produced in Giga Shanghai. We got the wheel here, and then we got the interior. So no more wood. Now from this picture, this, I don't know, probably in person looks fine, but in this picture, it does not look good, I think. Does this look good to you? I don't know. Probably just a camera. Yeah, I think probably it was just a camera. From this angle, it looks, I say this actually looks pretty good. A former Tesla executive announces that he is launching this electric boat. I don't think Tesla is going to make boats in the relatively near to medium term. So yeah, I think this is generally good. We want to move away from diesel and gasoline as much as we possibly can. I was downtown here in Vancouver recently. We went on a boat, and there was another boat, and that was really polluted. I didn't think before that boats would be polluting the air this much near the city. Gary Black has a new update here. He says Tesla offers the highest forward EPS growth at 29% compounded growth rate, but at 1.9x price to earnings growth. Yeah, it's no longer that cheap, he says. If you don't include any full self-driving at all, then yeah, I can see where Gary Black is coming from. But if you include full self-driving, even if you are relatively conservative about it, Tesla stock is a steal, I believe. You may check out my valuation model, which you can see exclusively on Patreon by clicking on the link down below. Gary Black continues here. I am tired of Tesla Uber bulls complaining about the unfair mainstream media. If Tesla doesn't make the effort to tell their side of the story, you can't blame the mainstream media for not posting the positive stuff Tesla is doing. I speak with DJ, Bloomberg, Reuters, and others about all the Tesla positives, and my comments somehow make it into the press. Tesla just needs to show up. Bulls can't have it both ways. I want to push back against Gary here pretty strongly. If you're being attacked, you push back. You attack back. Tesla is being treated unfairly, so I'm going to call out every single news outlet that is treating Tesla unfairly, and I will point out how ridiculous they are. Look, I am invested in Tesla, so if I see Tesla being attacked unfairly, I will fight back. Why should I not say anything? That just doesn't make any sense to me. And Farzad has a pretty good point here. Yes, I can, Gary. Mainstream media is a biased BS propaganda machine. We both know it. Your reasoning says that Tesla management is automatically bad because they don't want to play a corrupt game. Give me a break. Everyone should complain that the mainstream media is corrupt. And Gary then responds by saying, what's corrupt about showing up? It's lack of effort. And then Farzad continues here. So journalists being fed negative news articles from competitors and a shocking lack of honest coverage of companies that happen to advertise with them is not. Why put in the effort to cater to organizations that have misaligned incentives? Gary Black responds here, there's a giant Chinese wall between the business side and journalistic side. No self-respecting journalist would work for a media organization that posts negative stories about those who don't advertise. Wake up. Well, my conclusion from this is that a lot of journalists don't respect themselves then. Some do. This is not a point about every single one of them. But yeah, I mean, you have seen some pretty nasty Tesla stock news stories or Tesla news stories. For example, then there's a recall, which is just a software update. They try to make it sound like you need to take your vehicle back into the service center, and then Tesla will need to actually work on your vehicle physically. No, it's just a software update. How many times have you seen that? And you know that these journalists know exactly what they are doing, or they are so incompetent that they didn't research what is actually going on. Gary Black continues, I'm just tired of Tesla Uber bulls crying about the media. If my kid complained nonstop about not making the baseball team, but then I found out he never even tried out, I would tell him to grow the F up. Look, what Tesla does, I don't have much control of that, but I do have control of what I am about to say. So as a Tesla stock investor, I can just sit back and say nothing. Or when I see something, I'm gonna say something. Now, does Gary Black have a point here? What's corrupt about showing up? It's lack of effort from Tesla's side? I think that's a fair point to make. Tesla does not even try to give its side of the story. But then on the other hand, if Tesla did give its side of a story, would I be making these videos? I don't know. It somewhat unites us against this unfair coverage. Oh, about 30% of suppliers have already had to lay off some workers because of the UAW strike against the Detroit 3, but the figure will rise significantly by mid-October according to a recent survey. And GM's chief technology officer is leaving the job after just 1 month. Wow. Understandable given the lack of technology at GM. Omar says here, so basically GM's new CTO did an interview saying that Ultium was a flop and the company needed to make its own next generation batteries itself. Then like 1 week later, they announced he's leaving the company and going back to Israel after decades at GM. He worked on EV1. Wow, GM just doesn't learn its lessons. If you didn't know, EV1 was basically the first EV made many years ago, decades ago. If there's a company that does not see the future, it is GM. Oh, and GM just set up a $6 billion line of credit to absorb strike losses. This is not great for GM. However, major automakers post strong Q3 sales. September sales are up 15% from a year earlier. In the meantime, Tesla is up 27% year over year. US light vehicles are up 17% year over year. But there's also an interesting question here. How much of this is in dealership inventory? Tesla added FSD and EAP to the referral program. So if I understand this correctly, if you refer someone to buy a Tesla, let's say you refer something like 12 people to buy a Tesla vehicle, if you haven't purchased FSD, you will be able to use credits to purchase it basically, or enhanced autopilot. I'm not sure if that is worldwide though. Sawyer asked the question, do you agree with this headline that says, Dear America, you don't need as much power as you think. 0 to 60 times have fallen to an extent completely out of step with how people actually drive. To which I say, well, people in America don't need nowhere near as much food. And yet, People love eating even more and more and more, and they don't mind being overweight. It's not about what people need, it's about what people want. All right, this is now officially confirmed. Hyundai Motor Group is the latest automaker adopting Tesla's North American charging standard. Sam Kors from ArkInvest says some car companies are running out of excuses for why they can't make a low-cost EV. Chinese LFP cell pricing now is firmly below $100 per kilowatt hour. The batteries are getting cheaper. Owners of a popular electric pickup reported horrifying repair estimates for a common fender bender. Reports The Street. This looks like a Rivian. Well, if you own a Cybertruck and you have a fender bender, it'll probably just look like nothing. $40,000 due to a dent in the truck's rear panel. Wow. Well, this is a surprising headline. BYD's founder drank battery fluid to impress investors. Ray says, I'm starting to believe that Wall Street Journal and Business Insider are now sort of tired of disparaging Tesla. Now their eyes are on BYD. You can't make this stuff up. The story is from 2009. Oh, this is terrible news for Ford. I made a chart of Ford F-150 Lightning EV sales by quarter. Ford said that recent cancellations are due to them switching over to the 2024 model year, but the trend isn't great. Q3 sales were down about 46% year over year. And if you look back here, Q4 sales of last year, all right, pretty nice. And then Q1, Q2 continued that trend, and Q3, well, yeah, okay, some downtime of the factory, all right, but how do you explain Q1 and Q2? I mean, the trend is just clearly down. It doesn't take 3 quarters to just make some upgrades to the factory. Oh, Rivian today announced its intention to offer $1.5 billion in convertible senior notes. The stock is down 7% after hours on the news. Oh, it's actually down 20% almost. Wow, what did I just say? A few days ago, I said, yeah, Rivian, and yeah, it doesn't look great. Tesla is planning to build something called Giga Water Loop just outside of Gigafactory Texas in Austin, but we are not sure what it is yet. Farzad made the chart of F-150 and Rivian sales. Now, the Rivian sales, this is an estimate, this is a guess, but it's probably not too far off, and you can see that both pickup trucks are trending down. Yeah, it's definitely not because the Cybertruck is about to be released, and absolutely the Cybertruck definitely has zero effect on these two vehicles. So let's move on, because we can still buy Tesla stock relatively cheap, and when everyone finds out, then Tesla stock may really go up quite a bit. Tesla has asked for infrastructure to be built in the northern Mexican state where the car maker plans to construct a new automotive plant, the state's government said on Thursday. So today, that's good news. There's some good Tesla stock news here. I talked to my Tesla sales contact here in Chicago this morning, says Gary. He told me Model Y rear-wheel drive orders are huge, and most buyers don't care about the 0 to 60 taking 6.6 seconds. The big questions are about range, how long it takes to charge, cost of charging, and maintenance costs. He told me he gets almost no questions about autonomy. Here's another chart from Bloomberg, and these are top 5 trucks that Tesla owners are considering. Yeah, pretty much mostly just the Cybertruck. And here's Tesla's cumulative market share. Model S launches right here, Model 3 launches here, and then today Tesla accounts for roughly 61% of all EVs ever sold in the US. So yeah, a big shout out to Tesla's PR team for doing this great work. Polestar delivered 13,900 battery electric vehicles in Q3 in the US, down 12% quarter over quarter. Lucid has officially launched their cheapest model yet to boost demand, the Air Pure rear-wheel drive. The starting price is $77,400, 410 miles of range, single motor though, 430 horsepower, that's still pretty good, and 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, still pretty good. But you know what's quite a bit better? A Model S for $75,000 and 405 miles of range. It has a dual motor, so it's all-wheel drive, and it does 0 to 60 quite a bit faster, and it has access to all of the superchargers that Tesla has. I'm not going to really comment on this story much. I'm just going to read out what Elon said here. Strange how the media used to say that building a wall is both evil and impossible, but now crickets. And Elon commented here as well how times have changed. This tweet says here, the Biden administration says there is an immediate need to waive regulations and build a border wall as the migrant crisis spirals out of control. Elon also just retweeted this new interview. I agree with Sawyer here. The cross-pollination between Tesla and SpaceX is underappreciated. Taking Cybertruck marketing pictures with Starship in the background is a dope bonus. Just like how SpaceX helped Tesla come up with that special alloy that was used in the Model Y gigacasting for its rear. That information was shared a few months ago by one of the former Tesla executives. I was a bit in a rush to film today, so there were a lot more ums and ahs today. Let me know how you liked today's video compared to previous videos. A big thanks goes to all of my Patreon supporters. By joining my Patreon, you will get access to how much I think it is fair to pay per Tesla share each year between 2023 and 2033. If you sign up for the investor tier of support, you will also get my valuation model of Tesla stock with a 45-minute video walkthrough. And YouTube says you should watch this video next, but if you haven't finished watching that discussion with Elon Musk about the future, watch this one first. My name is Matt Posius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.